King Charles, where are you? Your people are shouting, crying, begging for help, and yet you stand silent while this country is torn apart. What good is a crown if it doesn't defend the nation? What good is a king if he will not stand with his people? This land is not theirs to destroy. It belongs to the people, the workers, the mothers, the fathers, the veterans, the builders, the farmers. We carried this island through wars, through hardship, through centuries of struggle, and we will not watch it be handed away by weak men in suits. Your duty is not to them, Charles. It is to us, to Britain, to the very soul of this nation. If you will not rise, if you will not speak, then you will show the people that the crown has become nothing but decoration. So hear us now. Your people demand action. We demand a king who protects his country. Britain is calling, Charles. Answer, or history will remember your silence.
Greetings, everyone. Happy Saturday if you're watching this live. To everyone else, happy whatever day is. Welcome back to United Kingdom to Restore Britain. If you're new, my name's Jay, otherwise known as Jay the Soul Coach. I'm just a working class East Londoner who deeply believes in the values that built our wonderful country and Britain. In the last episode, we talked about something important. We explored how Britain slowly built one of the freest political systems in the world. We talked about the Magna Carta. We talked about the Magna Carta. We talked about Parliament. We talked about the rule of law and the balance between power and liberty. One of the key words that kept coming up was balance, because the British system over centuries tried to balance many different things: authority and freedom, tradition and reform, religion and politics, which currently, in fact, is the reason I set up this channel, is the biggest imbalance we've got, not just in our wonderful United Kingdom, but across the world. And I'll be showing that today. And today I'm going to talk about another form of balance, and that Britain has been dealing with for generations, how different cultures live together within one nation, because Britain has never been a completely isolated country. For centuries, people have traveled here, traded here, studied here, and built lives here. And when people from different cultures live together, something interesting happens. Sometimes there is tension, sometimes there is misunderstanding, but sometimes something very powerful happens. Cultures enrich each other. And this is something I saw growing up in East London. My friends came from all sorts of backgrounds, different religions, different traditions, different foods, and family cultures. But we all shared something important. We were part of the same country, the same schools, the same football pitches, the same communities. And that's the key question for modern Britain. How do we maintain unity while still respecting diversity? Let me be clear, I've shared this many times, and I'm confident, if I'm talking to people of fair mind, that you'll agree when I say we haven't got a problem with anybody's colour. None. I've said multiple times, for me personally, to think that someone thinks or claims that they are somehow more entitled, sorry, I still got this man flu, somehow more privileged just because, or just in layman's, somehow better than someone else, just because the color of their skin is totally retarded, moronic, it's idiotic. It is the lowest form of intelligence I think you can show to actually gauge a person's validity or humanity by the color of their skin. So that bit being said, That's my disclaimer. This has nothing to do with racism. I'm going to mute myself while I blow my nose. Sorry. Right, apologies about that. Now, pre-warning, I am going to show some videos again today, which are going to be very provocative and they will wind you up. So if you're not up for that on a Saturday morning, then maybe this is the time to shut off, or wherever you are in the world, whatever time, there's my pre-warning. If you care about Britain, if you love being English and white, British and black and brown and whatever, you're proud of our country, you're proud to take in our heritage, what you and your parents and your grandparents have all loved, then this will wind you up, and it should do. Right. So, politics. The British model of integration. One of the reasons Britain has historically managed diversity relatively well compared with many countries is because of the framework of law and institutions that developed over centuries. The British legal system emphasizes something very important: equality before the law. No matter your background, no matter your religion, no matter your social status, everyone is meant to be subject to the same legal and lawful standards. That principle has helped Britain avoid many of the kinds of conflicts that have affected other societies. But maintaining that balance requires constant effort, because immigration, cultural change, and globalization are realities of the modern world, and societies have to continually ask themselves, how do we maintain shared values while respecting cultural differences? How do we make sure everyone understands the laws and traditions of the country they live in? How do we create a sense of shared identity in a diverse society? These are complex questions, and different people will have different views about the best way forward. But what's important in a democracy is that these conversations happen openly and respectfully, because discussion is how societies find balance. So I'm going back to these questions. How do we maintain shared values while respecting cultural differences? Well, I can only talk about being English and being born in England. Okay. I was born into a constitutionally Christian country. I've said it many times, I don't claim a religion. However, because of what's going on currently, and the next segment we will cover this, within the UK at the moment, I think it's vital that we at least know where our foundations politically come from, because actually at its core, it's from Christianity. Now, why is that relevant currently in politics? Because unfortunately, politically, there is another ideology that has slowly festered its way into our country over many, 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 many years, that unlike our own country's heritage, religiously, Christianity, which is not forced on us. We live here. No one forces you to become a Christian. No one forces you to become a Catholic, a Protestant, and all the different denominations of Christianity. No one forces you that. It's just that we have accepted for years, that is the foundations of our country. What is now pushing itself onto our streets, which I'll show you, and across the world, which today I'll show you, is another religion, another ideology, which is totally convoluted with a political agenda, which goes against everything about our culture. So question one, how do we maintain shared values while respecting cultural differences? Is quite simple. How we used to do it in our country, which is whereby if you are of another religious ideology and you come in to our country, you will be allowed to respectfully practice your ideology within the confines of your homes and the places that you practice. What you are not allowed to do, which, by the way, is what the church does. What you are not allowed to do, anyone, is actually then come onto our streets to start banning things like us raising our flag. Banning or wanting to ban us eating in public. Have you seen these videos? Because that particular ideology, their followers are fasting at that point. You're not allowed to attack our British, English people because they're eating their sandwich on a bus and because you're choosing to follow your ideology and be out in our public system. For you to enforce what is not our laws onto us. Question 2, how do we make sure everyone understands the laws and traditions of the country they live in? For me personally, I think that in my lifetime, I'm 45 this year. In my lifetime, all my friends growing up of different cultures, their parents, their grandparents, they fully understood the laws and traditions of this country. I remember celebrating Christmas with my friends' mums and stuff that were all in their saris, beautiful outfits, colourful, beautiful, and they're in their full religious gear and they're out with us celebrating. I remember at Easter having egg exchanges with my Pakistani friends, Bangladeshi friends. Like it was something that was a natural assimilation and a natural appreciation from these different cultures that chose to come into our culture, our country, and be part of it. So how do we make sure everyone understands the laws and traditions? Maybe we need to start enforcing our laws and our traditions. Not banning Christmas lights and Christmas trees because people say it offends them, but yet then in those same towns having the biggest set on council buildings of lights to celebrate Eid and Diwali. That's not balanced. That's not understanding the laws and traditions of our country. Question 3 was, how do we create a sense of shared identity in a diverse society? Well, first and foremost, the shared identity you buy into when you come into our country is ours, British. Do you think that when I went to Iran, I would start saying to people, right, take your flag down, it offends me? Or any of their traditions, their prayer time, I'll shut that off, we have to do me head in. No, you wouldn't dream of it. Because when you walk into someone else's land, you follow their rules. Pretty simple. So to create a sense of shared identity in a diverse society, well, that's on the people that come into our society. You're coming into our culture. When you are coming into our culture, maybe have a look before you go on holiday. What do? You have a look at the area, you have a look at the hotel, you have a look at what the facilities they've got, what the food's like, what the weather's like. Why not take that same simplistic ideology, logic, before coming into Britain and check, do we align with what you believe in? Because if we don't, then don't fucking come in. Simple as. Right, so now, sorry, chat, if there's anyone been talking in chat. Shout out to all of you in chat. I've now got, right, let me go home, go through some of your chats, people. I don't ignore you. Hello to all you lovely people here, by the way. Morning to all of you. Let me put your think chats on screen as well, so that while I'm talking. And chat, I hope you, Tim, love to you and yours, brother, always. It's a disgrace. You want too fast, stay home. Yeah, it's unreal, the amount of pictures, videos I've seen of that. Don't like our culture, respect it, then you're not welcome. Yeah, simple as. It's not nothing wrong with that. On Christian land, they do this. Could you do? No, exactly. That's why I gave Iran as a great example. Somewhere I've been. 309 migrants came into Ramsgate on the 9th of March. 605 came into Ramsgate in the last 2 weeks, all fighting age men, not even summer yet. got to close the borders. It's too easy for them. 100%. Those ones that pray in the streets, insulting, holding up people, trying to get on with their day, yeah, bang on. They don't come in to assimilate. They come to sponge off us and take over. 100,000,000%. Now, before I talk about why. Actually, no. So, the title of this channel, obviously, United Kingdom. That's a massive shout out and respect to the wonderful human being that is Tommy Robinson, and to restore Britain is because at the moment, I think the title actually I'm quite proud of. So I think we do need to unite the kingdom to restore Britain. It just so happens that United Kingdom is the Tommy Robinson thing and restore Britain is Rupert Lowe. Now, at this stage, what I'm about to show you, so I'm going to say something and then I'm going to show you evidence of why it's important that we definitely at least have a look at this. For me at the minute, politically, even if, like me, you've been homeless for years, you've not voted because you've known, it don't make any difference. Well, we've fucked up because in the years that we haven't voted, okay, like Labour won the last election with one of the smallest vote tallies in history. And just shows you. And they had the Islamic vote. They had the Muslim vote as well. That's why Starmer is shitting his pants at the minute because the Green Party is now taking in certain areas the Islamic vote, which is why Starmer is upping his Islamic regime game. He is as well. It's horrific what's going on. So I am now 100% staying very vigilant on who to vote for. Now, I've said it every video of these catalogues, these episodes, these shows, whatever. I can't even think this morning. I'm a little bit man-flued. There's three parties. There's three. Reform ain't one of them. If you truly want Britain to be restored to what it used to be. Now, what it used to be, for the record, wasn't all white. It never, in my life, it's never been all white. And I'm all white with it not being all white, funnily enough. So that's not what it's about. But what it was the opposite of what I'm about to show you. Because what I'm about to show you is currently what is going on in our streets. This is happening in our land. If you want to feel that you've got a voice and actually, do you know what? You're white and you're proud and you're all right with saying that. We do everything in this world in regards to, we've got lives, Black Lives Matter, we've got all these things, other matters, LGBTQ, TFC, STD, and all the rest of it, and all of these other movements. Well, what about a proud to be white movement? But of course, you say that and you're a racist. How about proud to be white in English? I realize now it's not something I used to would have said. But now it's like, I need to say it. No, actually, I'm white. I'm English. I'm fucking proud of being white and English. Like my kids are mixed race. I'm proud that they're half English and half Iranian. That is two different ethnicities, completely different. What a wonderful thing for me as a dad to be able to have that as a mixed culture. I've got no problems with mixing cultures. I've got a problem when another culture is in our house telling us, no, your culture, you've got to keep quiet. You've got to shut up. You're not allowed to say anything. You're not allowed to do all the wonderful family-orientated Christian things that have made you so wholesome as a culture for years. Christmas, I think Bugs Bunny, Easter, like all of our different holidays of celebration for our heritage. Yeah. Oh no, you can't do that anymore in your own house. That can't happen. And there are only three parties that are standing up for us at the moment. And I don't think I need to say it, but I'm going to say it again anyway. So for all my Black British, brown British, yellow British, pink British, purple British, we're together. In fact, one of the videos I'm going to show today is a wonderful Sikh man who's a patriot. For those that are watching this, you'll probably recognize who he is. And what him and his family, he's standing up. He's got his full turban on all the time, Union Jack, telling British people, English people, you need to stand up. White people, you need to stand up against this political, religiously driven regime that is the cause of the war that is still going on in my wife's country at the moment. okay? And it's the cause of the war that is on our streets. It is kicking off now. Don't get it twisted. And it's not just in the UK. As I said, I'll show you today just how far afield this is stretching. And it's the same ideology using the same strategies, the same methods. And they're using politics. They're using our political system. They are like a cancer already inside our political system. So those three groups of people, parties that we've got to save us is UKIP, Advance UK and Restore Britain. Now, currently, I've said this many times, if all of a sudden UKIP had a massive surge and they became the leading party, I'd vote for them. If Advance became the leading party, I'd vote for them. If it's Restore, why? Because they're the only three parties that have said irrefutably, you vote us in, we stop them coming in, the ones that I'm going to show you, these ones coming in, and anyone that's already in here that doesn't like us, that doesn't like our culture, that aren't grateful for everything that Britain and England has done, and Scotland, Ireland, Wales has done for them over the generations of their families, well, you know what? They can do one as well. Yous lot can fuck off. Now, let me share my screen. Like I said, if you don't want to get wound up today, don't watch this next bit. Right. Let's start. Which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah, right. This is where I want to start. So I want to share this tab. So hold on, people. Share. That one I'm sharing? Yes, it is. Right. So have a listen to this. So this is on is it Talk? Yeah, Talk, whatever it's called. That is quite a provocative channel. Let me just press play and make sure the volume's on.
And on one of the last slides, with the
oh, by the way, if you can't read it, it says British schools are teaching children that Al Qaeda were freedom fighters. What is going on in our schools?
title, are Al Qaeda more terrorists or freedom fighters? Even explain your answer. And they give them sentence starters of Al Qaeda can be seen as both terrorists to some and freedom fighters to others. In one way, Al Qaeda are terrorists because, however, in another way, they are freedom fighters.
Yeah, we know why they're terrorists.
So they're leaving it up to 11, 13-year-olds to decide what a terrorist is. It's insane. And the
Well, don't you remember that fantastic example of freedom fighting when they flew two jets into the Twin Towers in New York? Freedom fighting.
It's
no
awful.
suggestion that was terrorism.
It's insane. And the website in which these teaching resources are on, so it's TEST, which is the country's biggest website that's used for teachers to get resources from. So people upload different stuff and state schools then use it. And as I said, this is from 11 to 13-year-olds, which is absolutely crazy. And the fact that this is being taught, it is leaving 11 to 13-year-olds to decide what a terrorist is.
This is kids right now. A mega challenging task. It's all in this sort of package of lessons being given to kids in state schools as we speak, age of 11, 12, 13. Mega challenging tasks. Why is it so difficult to define what a terrorist is?
Can you fecking believe that? And for the record, that test site that she said, yeah, as she said, the biggest for teachers across the United Kingdom's resources, okay? The head of education for the UK, Google, Islamist. Islamist. The person in charge of the education system for the UK is an Islamist. Let that land. Right, next one. Where are we going next? Here we go. Let's go to this one next. Right. So, title on this one, let's just make sure you can see it. There, you can. Title on this one is North African Migrant Thinks It's a Good Idea to Attack Englishmen, but quickly discovers that it was better not to. Oh, let me get the...
Go away, man. Go away, man.
Right.
He did warn you, mate. He did warn you.
And he fucked off. Look at him.
Good one, Fred. He deserved that.
Fucking did. Well done, Fred. Fucking scumbag. Here we go. Here's another one. And get the volume. So he just threw a stone. This geek.
Throwing stones, mate. Yeah, you're throwing stones, mate. Yeah, go on. Throwing stones. Yeah. Yeah, not so clever now, are you, big boy? Whoa! Whoa, that went in my face. Too late, bro. Enjoy your weekend. I just can't look at people dressed like medieval executioners. It is about making women disappear, making them powerless. This is the man that said he loves death as much as we love life. No, you're in public, dude. I won't interrupt his prayer. He's in the personal session with God right now.
All right, so here we go. John Doe. Is this a troll channel? There was one British person in the picture. First of all, John Doe, everyone is welcome here, first and foremost. Please explain your question. Is this a troll channel? In what way? Explain to me. By the way, everything I'm going to be using, because when we get on to the next bit, we're going to be talking about, just so you know, John Doe, if you're against this stuff, maybe you don't want to be here. If you want to challenge me on this stuff, let me know. I'll give you the link. You can come on and have a chat. I won't be disrespectful. I won't call you any names. You can call me whatever you want. As long as you don't be disrespectful to anyone in my chat, you can stick around. But if you've got an opinion on this stuff that goes against what I'm saying, bearing in mind I'm going to give you all the evidence. I'm just going to show you stuff. Then feel free to jump on, please. Right, where was we? Show you another one. Okay, now, in fact, now let's switch. Okay, this is, let's get this one back to the beginning. Wait, get back to the beginning. I won't be long, people. I want this one to stay from the beginning. There we go. Right. So before I show that one, this is in Liverpool. British patriots confront Islamists attempting to spread Islam in Liverpool. I'm showing you this because I'm telling you this is enough. People have had enough. People have had enough. People have had enough of this shit. This is, where is he? This beautiful human being here. I tried to get him on the show, actually. I'm waiting for him to come back to me. But you'll recognize him.
Resign. You cannot do anything.
Again, 50 Islamists
because of your high superior giving you orders, you're getting abused from me, people like me every day. Because you want to do your duty, but higher up, they fucking give you orders not to help me. Because of them, you're getting abused from everybody every day. Why? Because this fucking higher up, this bastard. I know who is giving orders. I got no enmity with you. I got no personal with you. But
we do get abused every day.
Because why? Because you want to do your duty, but your hands are tough because somebody tell you not to help anybody else. I know it's not baby. I'm going through this hell.
Yeah, no, I get you.
I'm sorry. We don't have anything. No, we don't have anything against you.
His wife. That's his wife. She's in bed.
I really don't.
No, but we feel bad after that.
I know, but don't.
No, I'm in fact, but I'm not good live with fear. I will fight.
Being attacked by Islamists.
I keep on fighting. You are with me or not with me. I keep on fighting.
Makes me fucking sick. Right. Now, let's bring in, this will help segue into the religious part. This is what we're up against. Let's make sure you can see that. Oh, John Doe, mate. Sweet, bruv. I didn't know which way it was going to go, so I had to make sure I had to state my case. I live in a city that was ground zero for the progressive experiment decades ago. Just know that if you give an inch, you'll lose it. Bang on, brother. Bang on. Thank you, John. Please spread this channel around. And if people want to come on and say their piece. You don't have to put yourself on camera. But I know there are people that have reached out to me and said, oh, yeah, I don't want to come on camera, but I'd love to say something. Then let me know. Do you know what? I'll put the link in just in case. You don't have to come on camera, right? But if you just want somewhere where you can get off your chest, if you say anything racist, not only will I take you off, I'll block you, because that ain't what this is about. And that'll fuck this whole thing up for me. Remember, if you say anything racist, I'll take that personal for my kids. They're mixed race. So it's not about racism. But you can come on, you can say anything you want about Islam, because where I go next, I'm going to show you irrefutably in their book, this is the next part, that they promote paedophilia. And that might sound strong. I am going to give you the verses, the chapters, the reference points where you can go and check it yourself. Because the biggest thing for me that is under threat, if this gets into our political system, is our kids. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. They've already got Islamist parties that for years have been pushing in our Houses of Commons, trying to push to take the age of sex down to 12 and the marriage. Yeah, this is already happening. It's not something that's just popped up. They've been doing this for years. This is gradually gained a lot of momentum. And let me play you this fucking prick. So it says, the question is on screen, are ladies allowed to wear perfume outside their homes?
Are ladies allowed to wear perfume outside their homes? Nope. Straightforward. Do you want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah,
the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ says, if a woman goes out wearing perfume and a non-mahram is scented the perfume from her, it's written to her as if she has committed zina. It's your choice now. Oh, but I don't want to stink. Yeah, you can use a deodorant.
They can use deodorant, but not perfume.
Shower properly.
By the way, the real man use self-control
Real men
instead of controlling
use
others.
self-control instead of controlling others. How fucking powerful is that? Because if these wankers get in, it's our women, it's our little girls, it's our mothers, it's our grandmothers, it's our aunties, it's our sisters that are the first point of attack. And for all you blue-haired, weirdo leftists, you're the first lot that will be killed. What you do for those that practice, and by the way, again, I'm not judging you. I've got gay friends. I worked with loads of gay. I worked in the centre of London in gyms for years, and pretty much I've managed a gym where pretty much 70% of my workforce was gay. Fitness First, Cotton Centre in London. If you know it, you know it. Tooley Street. Yeah? Nothing against gays at all. But for all you gays that are jumping up and down, having to go at me, say, oh, you're racist and all this. Listen, when they get in, if they get in, you're fucked before me, mate. You're going to get it before I do. Lynched, stoned, killed. That's in their book. We'll be going through the book on these next. Every episode I do of this, I'm going to, like I have, if you ain't seen the previous 3, go watch them. Go watch them. You'll see reference points. You'll see their actual mosques. I've played that clip so many times, about 5 minutes, where it goes from one mosque to the other in the UK, whereby they are preaching, kill the Christians, kill the Jews, annihilate every single one of them. That's their agenda. It's not a joke. That's their agenda. That's what we're up against. Right. Let me just show. I forgot to show you, didn't I? Hold on. So this is in Germany. Like I said, this ain't just in the UK. YouTuber walking in his home country, Germany, showing the downhill the country has gone.
I can film what I want, dude. I'm in Germany. I'll do what I want in my country. You don't tell me to film. You don't tell me not to film in my country.
It's for Wikimedia, bro. I want to follow you.
So, amongst the playing children and the families, just everywhere you look, engineers and doctors selling drugs, telling the German that he can't film in his country. Everywhere the eye meets, you can see them in the distance. There's some sitting over there. There's some over here listening to their bongos. There's 3 of them, one on a bike. So the urban safari begins. Do you feel enriched? Diversity is our strength. Loving it, loving life. They try.
Right, now this one, I'm not even gonna lie, I cried when I watched this morning because this, so this is in Turkey. Persecution in the name of Jesus Christ by a Turkish Muslim. Okay, right. This is that. So you can see two people on screen. The guy with a rucksack, to his left, a woman, a small woman. Watch this. Sorry, I need to put the volume on. Look at this scumbag. Look at this scumbag. Someone should have weighed him in. Yeah, look at that woman. She gets up again and starts proudly preaching again. Look at him. Fucking cunt. Yeah. Fucking scum. It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. Wow. Fuck me. What would I do when the comments would be deleted instantly? Don't know, I live in the city. Colin Strivens, thanks God this is live. Because Colin, as long as you don't write anything racist, mate, all right, you can write what you want. Don't write anything racist because I'll ban you. I'll block you, I'll delete you, and you'll fuck things up. It's not about that. Right, so that last one just about sums it up, right? That's what they think of women. So now, right, bear with me. Here we go. Fantastic. So, tell you what, that last one. Can you imagine if that's your wife, that's your girlfriend, that's your daughter, that's your sister, that's your mum, who is bravely just talking about their belief in a public place, which is a right. In England, we have freedom of speech. We have the right to go out anywhere and talk about whatever we want to talk about. That's our right. And if you think, if all of a sudden someone said, oh, it's not your right to have freedom to say what you want anymore, wouldn't that just completely instantly, without trying to gauge and work out why, no justification fucking needed, but just knowing, what do you mean? I can say what the fuck I want, mate, about what I want. Unfortunately, people can say some nasty shit. Yeah, but it's still their right to do so. It is their right. So now, the religion section for today in regards to Islam is Muhammad, Aisha, and the age of marriage. Now, a disclaimer again. You might not know anything about Islam, but let me give you a generic foundational point that you can stand on, right? If you have paid taxes, you have rights. Yes, sorry, just came in sleepy. Yeah, no problem, mate. No need for sorries, brother. You could, like I said, you can say what you want. If people want to come on, the chat's there, the link's there. If you want to come on and say your piece, you don't have to come on camera. That's fine. I want people to know that this is a safe space. We have fucking freedom of speech. That's the important part of me saying, if you want to come on and say something, just know you can here. Right. So Islam, in a nutshell, for today's purposes, the Prophet Muhammad, you right, babe? Is it still hurting? Oh, is it leaking a bit? That's fine. Your body's healing. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So get one of mummy's cotton buds. Gaz, where's your cotton buds? Mum's going to sort it out for you, all right? But don't worry, we'll sort it out. But that's a good sign, baby. Sorry, people. In regards to the Ella, mate, we'll be doing a live later, right, for West Ham if you're about on the other channel. In regards to the Prophet Muhammad, he is seen as the perfect man. Perfect. That if you ask any Muslim, man or woman, if they're on their deen and you say, who is the perfect human, they will say without thinking, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I like to say, piss be upon him, dirty Peter, because that's what he is. And I'll prove it. right? So Muhammad, again, is the perfect man. So today's topic is about Muhammad and about one of his wives, which is the most famous wife in Islam. Her name is Aisha. Okay? Right. Let's get to it. Who else? Mandy, hey, there is no age of consent in the United Arab Emirates as any form of sexual activity outside of marriage is illegal. This is Muhammad marrying. There we go. Right. Beat me to the punchline. Right. So the hadiths about Aisha's age. Now, if you don't know what a hadith is, you've got the Quran, which is apparently word for word from Allah, word from word. Now, how was it written? It was actually shared with an illiterate man in a cave that there was no witnesses at all, none, that shared this experience. But this illiterate man, couldn't read or write, came out of a cave and then basically said, blah, 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 it became the Quran. Now, what scholars, Islamic scholars have done over the years is they've written their interpretations of the Quran. They've added and changed things. Supported in some areas, the areas where it looks a bit dodgy, they try to make it look less dodgy in layman's, and that's the hadiths, right? So Sahih al-Bukhari is one of their top scholars. As a Muslim, if I read what I'm going to read, what I'm about to read, if a Muslim turns around and says, no, that's not the case, then if I then say, hold on, Sahih al-Bukhari 5134. So there's one for you people. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just put these in just in case anyone can be bothered. I'll put it in chat. Right. Glad to hear it, right? Enjoy it, brother. Are you more important, good mate? If you're about later, right, glad you're doing well, mate. And we join the freedom. You're good. Yeah, if you're about later, right, we'll do a show, get Nan on as well. Right, so this is Sahih al-Bukhari, 5134, narrated by Aisha herself. The Prophet married me when I was 6 years old and consummated the marriage with me when I was 9 years old, and I remained with him for 9 years. So there's the first one. What is the definition of a paedophile, people? What is the definition of a paedophile? And I don't care if we're talking 1 million years ago, 100,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 1,400 years ago, last week or today. What is the definition of a paedophile? Sahih Muslim, 1422. Aisha reported, Allah's messenger married me when I was 6 years old and I was admitted to his house when I was 9 years old. Admitted to his house, slept with. Sunan and Nasa'i, 3378. The messenger, the reason I'm doing this is what they do. If you've seen the terrorists, yeah, I'm mocking you lot. You're scumbags, you're pedo supporters. And so is this. The messenger of Allah married me when I was 6 years old and consummated the marriage with me when I was 9 years old. These reports, what I've just read, appear in the most trusted Sunni collections, the Bukhari and Muslim, which is why if you ever get into a conversation with a Muslim on this topic, you can quote this stuff and they cannot argue with it. Now, here's another one from Sahih al-Bukhari, okay? And this is the hadith about Aisha playing with dolls. And again, this is narrated by Aisha. So Sahih al-Bukhari 6130. I used to play with dolls in the presence of the Prophet, and my friends also used to play with me. When Allah's messenger, peace be upon him, entered, they would hide themselves, but the Prophet would call them to join and play with me. Now, do you know that some Islamic scholars, even this day, commentators for Islam, say that this was permitted because she had not yet reached puberty. Right. Now, this is Quran 65:4. Chapter 65, verse 4. And those of your women as have passed the age of monthly courses, for them the waiting period, if you have doubt, is 3 months. And for those who have no courses, i.e. have not menstruated yet, their waiting period is 3 months. Now, let me explain what you just heard. So I'm going to put this one in here because this one, and bear in mind, people, if Sharia law comes into the UK, that's that chapter, right? So I'm going to read it again. And those of your women, so that's talking to men. This is directly talking to men that have, remember, they can have 4 wives. They can have legally, lawfully, by Allah, by Islam, they're allowed 4 wives. So those of your 4 wives, current 4 wives, that have passed the age of monthly courses. So basically, maybe all of your 4 wives haven't even started menstruating yet. Maybe 2 of them have, but now one of them at 10 has started her menstruation process. Who knows? But it covers both, remember, where we go next. But I'm going to read it so you understand it. So for those of your 4 wives that have passed the age of monthly courses, that have basically started their period, okay, for them, the waiting period, now let me be really specific. For them, the waiting period is for the man saying, right, that 9-year-old, I've had enough of her. I want to divorce her. I don't want her as my wife anymore because I've spotted this other 8-year-old over here. Fancy a bit of that. That 9-year-old, she's past her best. I want that 8-year-old. Yeah? This happens. You can say, oh, Jay, that's not fair. No, what do you mean it's not fucking fair? Aisha was 6, married, consummated at 9. We've covered it. This is in their book. So don't pull any bollocks cards with me about it's a bit too much. No, this is what's going on. So for them to wait for the divorce period, if you're in doubt whether you can lawfully, by Islam, Allah, divorce that 9-year-old, you've got to wait for 9 months. Because if your 8-year-old, 9-year-old wife that you're now want to get rid of, you've just done the dirty with the night before, she might be pregnant. So you've got to wait 9 months to make sure she doesn't give birth, and then you can divorce her by law. However, if, and for those who have no courses, for the ones that haven't had their period, so they are pre-period. The waiting period is 3 months. And then you can divorce them. Okay, so this is what is in our political system. Yeah. Quran chapter 4, verse 6. Test the orphans until they reach marriageable age. Then, if you perceive sound judgment in them, release their property to them. Orphans. This is promoting men going into orphanages. Okay, so hadith about puberty and womanhood. Islamic law often considers puberty the transition into adulthood. So now you'll know puberty can start as young as 6 for some girls. It's getting earlier and earlier for some reason these days. Sunan Abu Dawood 641. The Prophet said, Allah does not accept the prayer of a woman who has reached puberty unless she wears a veil. This is used to show that puberty makes and marks a shift in religious and social status. So basically what he's saying is once she's sounds horrific, but bleeding, she's there. Put the veil on her, she's good to go. In traditional Islamic jurisprudence, a girl is considered to have reached puberty when one of the following occurs. First menstruation or growth of pubic hair. So they've not even menstruated yet, just some pubic hair. Pregnancy. So even if you've gotten pregnant, she was all right. She was old enough. I could go on and on and on about this stuff, right? But to be honest, it's quite sick. And it's quite twisted. So everything I've quoted so far, that what's not true? 6, are you nuts? Right, Grim Cross, what's not true? Is that me? Have I missed something? I can give verses and chapters and reference points. What about for the record? I became a teacher and school after and died, so she was a very clever woman. Yeah, Aisha was. Trump is a paedophile too. Does the US promote paedophilia? How do you know that Trump's a paedophile? Because it says it on the news. Or like, how do you know that? Like, not being funny, what I'm reading is actually in a book of what people, over 1 billion people, actually subscribe to and believe in. It actually is writing it. It's okay. So at least what I'm sharing, I can evidence it. I'm giving these. But 6, are you nuts? That's not true. What are you referring to, Grim Cross? I want to know. Hello, Nan. Yeah, it is. It is. It is, Nan. It's sick. Absolute sick. Grim Cross, all societies have had paedophile abuse. Yeah, and but for the record, I'm not saying that there aren't paedophiles. Listen, anyone, bearing in mind, right? I am someone who was abused as a child. I experienced firsthand being sexually abused as a child. So when I'm talking about this stuff, this has got a real raw meaning for me because that fucked my life up for 27 years. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my mum, didn't tell my dad. I went through being a little boy and being that. Yeah, it's not nice. I can talk about it now quite openly, but for 27 years, it ruined so much for me in my life until I started talking about it. And now I'm very privileged and honoured and proud to say that I now go around and I even talk to over 300-400 army soldiers at a time in different barracks over England. I share that story. And then I often get big, burly men come up afterwards and say, Jay, thanks so much for sharing that. That happened to me. That happened to me. I said at the beginning of this, the biggest thing for me is to protect kids. I'm not trying to be a warrior, Captain Planet. No, I think it's pretty fucking logical. And I think any human being, if you said, what's the most important thing to protect? Is there anything more important than kids? This religion, I've just read it. I've given verses. Oh, right. Girls do not menstruate at 6. What do you mean? Yes, they do, Grim Cross. Listen, there is an actual issue with this at the moment. I'm a dad. I've got young kids. Yeah, so I'm not talking about... This is happening. This is happening. More than you think as well. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. Different subject, right? I'm not saying I know either way. I'm not saying I know that either way. That's not this topic. Like, this is what people do. We're talking about something in specific, and you're going, oh, hold on, but what about over there? I'm not talking about over there. I'm talking about here, now, here and now. So, it's Grim Cross, please, you can say whatever you want here, by the way. As long as you're not racist and you don't have got anyone in the chat, you can say whatever you want. I work with professional medical people on a daily basis. I've been a cancer coach for 11 years this year. I've worked with oncologists. I've worked with all sorts of professional people. And I can tell you, to even suggest that there has not been a girl who's menstruated at 6 is ridiculous. I don't know what sort of medical professional you are, but that's a ridiculous, that is a moronic statement. There are. What are you talking about?
There are plenty of proof of girls that are underage being pregnant because they've been sexually abused by retards. People like that.
No, but
They cannot see it.
this person is trying to state that there is no 6-year-olds that have menstruated. There are.
Okay, man.
That's honestly, that is so ridiculous. That is that. I mean, I don't know what rock you live with. Genuinely, that get in at that point, they're looking at your little girl and thinking, where is she at in the ladder at the minute? Has she started bleeding yet? Is she not bleeding yet? Well, if I get with her at this point, I've got this amount of time to play with her. Gazelle, what's the prayer that the Islamists?
If they don't believe it, they should go and look in Mecca and see what these people do in Mecca during the holiest months. They go there and they fuck around by just reading that prayer.
Do you know what the name of the prayer is?
Sireh. In Persian, it's Sireh.
See there. Do you know how to spell it?
2-minute line, and then you can go and
Do you know how to spell that? No, don't come in front of the camera. How do I spell it?
In Persian, it's S-I-G-H-E.
S-I-A-G-H-E. S-I-G-H-E. S-I-G-H-E. Right. Is so that, and that's in Iranian, yeah? Iranian prayer. This is what I'm saying, people. We got the receipts for this stuff. Iranian prayer for, is it marriage?
To just do what the fuck they want for 24 hours, basically.
Right, hold on. Let's see if it comes up with it.
God.
There we go. Thank you, babe. Thank you. Right. So listen to this. Yeah. Sige. It's Sige, babe. Yeah. Sige. All right. So Sige, which is the Iranian term for temporary marriage in Shia Islam. In Arabic, it is nikah mutah. Okay. Right. So what is it? Sige is a temporary marriage contract between a man and a woman for a fixed period of time. The marriage automatically ends when the agreed time expires without requiring divorce. Now, listen to this. The duration can be anything from years, months, days, hours, minutes. So in Mecca, in their holy period, in mosques all around the UK, this is happening in our country. People go in and make that prayer, take in an underage child, abuse them, and then just walk away because the agreed time was right. For the next 10 minutes, we're married. We don't need, and it will be an Islamic imam, an Islamic elder of the mosque that will do that prayer for that man to take in that little girl and then to come out back again and say, wash my hands of you. In fact, yeah, I'm going to put that one up. I'll put that one up. I'll put it up so you can see exactly what it is. Again, this is what we are up against in our countries at the moment. Personal experience is the lower form of evidence. Listen, right. Do you know what I love about that? Just read that back. Here's a fact for anyone that's watching this. And if you know about my, he's got a picture, Grim Cross. He's actually got a picture of him in, I think, in medical kit. But anyways, read back your comment. Personal experience is the lower form of evidence. Oh my God. Wait.
40,000 people that were murdered by this regime. You are a pro-Islamist and you are the problem with the society because you are too scared to
my wife ain't as polite as me.
In the eye. And you don't want me on this channel because I'm not as polite.
Let me just finish it.
This is bullshit. People like him are the problem.
My missus is a second generation immigrant who actually got forced out of Iran. No, got smuggled out of Iran by her mum because her mum, shout out to my wonderful grandmother who's coming over soon for the birthday. Because, sorry, mother-in-law, even I call her grandmother, mother-in-law, because her mum, my wife's mum, didn't want one of them dirty fucking pedos taking her. My wife, she's beautiful. I'm married up. So my wife's mum didn't want that happening to her little girl, which is why they made the decision to leave their country because of this stuff. But listen, I want to address this comment. People, this is the problem with the world in general today. I'm going to go, you know what? That's the end of the religious and political stuff. As you know, at the end of every single show, I end up with some of my coaching messages. And bear in mind, to give credence to the messages I share from my coaching practice, which are 9 times out of 10 from people with terminal cancer, quite often one of the last people they get to speak to is me. And it's been the biggest teaching of my life. And for the record, Grim Cross, I am actually an endocannabinoid system consultant officially. Yeah. Do you even know what that system is? And do you even know the relevance of that system? Because scientifically, arguably, there's not a more important system anatomically inside the human body than the endocannabinoid system. That's my area of expertise. Right. That comment there is the biggest problem with the world in general. Do you know why? Because I'm telling you this, the 8 million people that are still watching around the world, right? Nothing in your life ever will outweigh your personal experience. If you experience something, then it's not from a book. It's not because you've heard it. It's because you have physically, mentally, spiritually connected with a moment that you felt. So that comment, personal experience, is the lower form of evidence. I don't care whether you're up against scientific, spiritual, academic people that are trying to tell you that your personal experience is not as important as some other form of evidence. They are talking out of their arse. Your personal experience, my personal experience, is the only thing that I know to be true. How? Because I experienced it. I felt it. It happened to me. So, Grim Cross, read back that comment and stand on it. If that's what you're all about, then I pray for you. I do. Because I'm telling you this, Grim Cross 9055, you are the only you, Grim Cross 9055, that ever was, is, and will be. You're one off. You're special. You're unique. Your experience of being you is the strongest evidence you will ever have of what your life actually has ever consisted of. Not any medical training, not any mathematical training, not any sports training, not any form of training on any subject. You and your experience in being you, you don't actually choose. That's what you are. That is the strongest foundation of evidence of your essence, your nature, your existence. So the fact that you think that your personal experience is a lower form of evidence, I don't care what you're talking about either. I don't care what subject you're talking about. If you've experienced it, that is all the evidence you need to know how you felt and what you know in that experience. Right. But like I said, Grim Cross, I didn't attack you. I told you how special you was, by the way, as well. And the thing is just a joke. I do that to my brothers, my mates, even do it to my son at times. He fucks me off. So don't take it personally at all, right? Because that ain't what it's about. Everyone is welcome here, but that is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Where are we? I'm not. It doesn't matter. Scientific evidence. It don't matter. Like I said, endocannabinoid system. I have got all the scientific evidence in the world for how that works and how it's all scientifically, anatomically connected. However, to experience it through my breath work, ECS breath work, blows all of the science out the fucking, I could tell you about it all day long, but as soon as you turn up on my free session on a Monday evening, there's a plug, but it's free session every Monday, and you take part in my ECS breath work, whatever you would have read about it scientifically will mean fuck all when you do it. Because then it's your experience. There's your evidence. And I'm glad you're not an Islamist, by the way. Here is, well said, Jay. Thank you. Well said, lady. So even, well said, lady. Here is evidence. Real men don't abuse or hurt women. Thank you, Paul. Grim Cross obviously had a COVID jab. Turned you into, let's not attack people. No people. No name calling. Chris, Millwall fan. That's your strike. I love you, Chris. But please, let's not call anyone any names. We can say a comment is retarded. We can say that, or moronic, because it's a description. We're not ad hominem the individual. I've got nothing against Grim Cross as an individual, as a human being, I send you so much love, good health, and happiness to all you and your families. Shut up, babe. All right, and I mean that because it's not about individually attacking people. What it's about is sharing information to hopefully make people realize that actually their own experience in being themselves is more important than anything else. I've spent the last over a decade listening to people from all walks of life, from all different religions, at the end of their physical journey, tell me that actually, Jay, the only thing in my life that was ever really, really me was the memories that I have of my experiences, not my houses, not my cars, not what I learned academically, not what I did professionally. No, it was the experience of being me. And the biggest regret, which is why I always share this, is not choosing to be happy in yourself. That's the most important thing. And that is experience that only you can experience. Mandy G, go on, girl. Mandy G has put in Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 7, book 62, hadith 64. Aisha herself. I read this one out earlier, man, but we'll go with it again. The Prophet married me when I was 6 years old and consummated the marriage with me when I was 9 years old. This is repeated in Hadith 5134 and other places. I actually read, I think, 4 or 5 early, man, but thank you very much. It is not expectable. Yep, well done. Well done. So I'm saying, Grim Cross, we can agree on certain things. Yes, I do. What's your point? I don't know what that was referring to, that one. It is a true fact, Grim. So what? Laugh out loud. Felt. So your emotions are as good as facts. You are so stuck. You're so stuck in your egoic mind that you actually think at the minute you're making sense. I'm going to tell you this. Come the end of your life, however you live your life, okay, and I hope you live a long, healthy life. I hope you don't end up like the people that I often work with that are in a really bad way, suffering at the end. I wish that on no one. And that's why I'm so confident in delivering these messages, is what you will realize at some point, factually, that the only facts that have ever had served any importance in your life are what you know about yourself and how you felt in being yourself. That might not land at the minute because your academic ego might be still triggering off to why you're so clever and why you need something academic, to why you need something that you've read in a book to tell you how to be you or how you should think. I can't help you with that. Yeah, the fact is normally, right? Normally. But you genericized earlier that it couldn't happen before. That was a retarded statement because it has many times. It was a stupid statement. Not you're not stupid. Your statement was stupid. It's 9. What's wrong with you? She menstruated at 9. Yep. Green Cross, if you were with a young relative, say 7-year-old niece, and she gets asked, are you on your period yet? How would you react to that? Yeah, I mean, it's just questions that should be asked, isn't it? Thanks for praying for me, but I'm telling you, you are lying when you say girls can make... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay. I guess can menstruate 6. That's what he said. Listen. Okay. Whatever. I can't. I'm not going to keep going over the same point. He was talking in general, not about Aisha. Diversity is shy. It's not shy. Diversity is not shy when... I'll tell you why I disagree with you on that, right? Because for me, growing up in East London, I've said this many times, the most... that, you know, in your life, you've got some memories that as a kid that sort of shock you. Like, I was talking about this to someone a couple of days ago, how they imprint on you. Little moments in your life where it just stays with you. And one of them was, I've said this many times, the first time that I went round, my Pakistani friend, Bajul, Zubair, Noor, and what was the full? Bajul, the youngest. Noor was the oldest. Zubair was second oldest. Then it was Bajul, he was my age. Oh yeah, Nazrul, right? 4 brothers. First time I went in a house, first time I'd been into an Islamic house, yeah, and we sat down on the floor. They put out a sheet on the floor and we ate homemade curry on the floor with our hands. To this day, that is one that will always be one of them. I remember just thinking, like I've said this many times, my mum and dad have got this so wrong. Oh my God, I can eat with my hands. We're eating on the floor. Like, it was wonderful. So my background in growing up in Forest Gate in East London was diverse. black mates, brown mates, yellow mates, pink mates, all Cypriot, Greek, Polish, African, Bangladeshi, Pakistani, Somalian, Irish, like it was. If you're from East London, you'll know. It was a boiling pot of different cultures, different diversities. And that was exciting. I loved that element. That's why I've said, people, let's be clear, on this channel is not about color. Anyone says anything about anyone's color, I don't care how long you've been a subscriber, you can fuck off, because my kids are mixed race. Like, I don't accept that. You'll be blocked. You'll be banned. You won't be welcome here. This ain't about color, first and foremost, because for me, diversity is beautiful. Greetings from North London, UK. Reparation Nation. Love that. Love that. Greetings to you. Love to you and yours. Time to return to core British values. Absolutely. That's what this channel is always about. Girls cannot menstruate at 6J, men 9. What I'm saying, Mandy, it has happened. It has happened. There has been, right, like it's a oh, do you know what? I'm going to say then, all right, no problem. I'm wrong. I know my hand up, even though I know I'm not, right? I'm going to say, all right, I'm wrong. It's 9. Does that make anything any different? Does it change anything? Oh, it's not 6, it's 9. But if, again, I'm going to challenge, if you actually think that there's not been, like, to do a bit of research, if there's not been ever a 6-year-old girl, and the thing is, the only reason I know this is because, unfortunately, to do the research on this stuff, I actually watch really horrific stuff from countries like Somalia, where this underage checking of girls and how old they are before a man will then pay the parents to marry that child. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to as my reference point. Again, I don't need a book, an academic book, to tell me that in a book it might say it can only happen at this time. What do we know about the human race is that, thank God, that we're so different and unique that unique things can happen to unique people all the fucking time. All the time. So for the record, I've got my reference points on that. I know what I'm talking about, but I'm wrong then. It's 9. What does that change? What the fuck does that change? Right. I'm doing positive stuff. And oh, yes, Paul, I'm going to talk about this on the football channel. All right. But yep, Paul Houston, shout out to you and yours. Please, people. Paul, if you've got a link where people can sponsor that, I'm doing positive stuff on the 28th walkie-talkie climb, raising funds for Great Ormond Street Hospital for cancer ward for the kids. Am I right in saying, Paul Houston, as well, you will be just as happy to raise money for white English kids, black British kids, brown British kids, Pakistani British kids, Somali? Does that matter to you in any way? Or are you just doing that for the pure intention of protecting kids and doing something for kids that need it? I'd love to know that as well, because that's the sort of message that this channel is all about. Again, it's not about colour. Nothing to do with colour. Yes, you are getting a lot of love for that. Well, that's brilliant, Paul. It is. How much this people respect you, Jay, if they tell you diversity is knowing you have a mixed race family. Look, you're not going to create a divide in here in that sense. Grim, you can carry on. Do you know what? Please go through your catalogue. You're going to need to, because you don't agree with what I'm saying. And that's the beautiful thing about our country. Is freedom of speech. You're entitled to say whatever you want. Whatever you want. So am I. And so is reparation. No, who is it who said this one? They're entitled to say that. Whether I shared politely why I disagreed with it. And I gave examples of why. Experiencing other cultures as a kid, as a white English kid, to experience Pakistani culture, Bangladeshi culture, Somalian culture, Jamaican culture, African culture. I had birthday parties just like anyone who's probably in my generation. I'm an 81 baby. In my generation that grew up in any part of London. I bet you went to multiple. If you didn't, I feel sorry for you because you missed that. But I went to so many different cultured birthday parties. I ate so many different cultures of foods. But yet at the end of it, we all went round the cake and we sung happy birthday and we blew, and that person blew out the candles, and as kids, you just fucking loved being around. So diversity for me is well important. And for me, my own personal experience, it enriched my life. Learn the core British values and you have power like us. 100%. they're only being nice to preach to you and convert you. Now, this is a really relevant comment, right? Because again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to prove this with Islam, this comment here. Okay, in the UK, right, there is this uprising. No one can say at the moment there isn't an uprising of an aggressive form of Islam in the UK. Not just the UK, in Germany, in France, in Italy. Look at Iran. Look at Iran, my wife's people, my family. Look at what's going on over there. Again, Islamic regime, Islam and politics, right? What has been proven irrefutably is that initially the way Islam will come in most of the time is peaceful, because this is the religion of double speak. On one hand, it says it's the religion of peace, but then on the other hand, it says, and I've played all the videos to prove this, I've got receipts for everything, that is the religion of war. When Muhammad was in Mecca, known as a market man, that's his origins, a tradesman, yeah? Do you know what the people of Mecca did? He got exiled. They fucked him off when he started trying to say that he's a prophet. He went to Medina, where the Jews were, practicing a very peaceful Jewish religion, accepting to other cultures and religions. So Muhammad got into Medina, and actually, and if you know anything about the Quran and Islam, you'll realize that Judaism and what they call the Injil, which is the gospel, Christianity, that is what the books of Islam consist of, with the most recent one being the Quran. So you had the Torah, that's the Jewish book. You had the Injil, that's the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Remember, I'm looking at this objectively. I'm not claiming any of this. I'm not claiming Christianity, I'm not claiming Judaism, and I'm definitely not claiming Islam, right? But so he goes over to Medina because he gets fucked off out of Mecca. They'll say, fuck off, Mo. Do one, mate. What, you want to start promoting that you're the prophet of God? Fuck, we know you are, mate. You've been selling your fucking shit around here for years. Do one. He goes off to Medina. Peaceful Jews take him in. He basically copies, yeah? And again, if you think I'm lying, ask any Muslim you know in a peaceful way. Just say, I'm just curious. Do you guys believe in the Torah and the Injil? And what they'll say, pretty much verbatim, is this. Yes, we do, but the one that you have now has been corrupted. That is their go-to. And that is what they're taught in the mosques. That is their go-to. So yes, we believe in Jewish and Christian values. Yes, it was the first scriptures that Allah revealed was the Torah. And so their Allah that they point their finger to, remember, this is the terrorist side. Cunts. Their Allah, he actually released first and foremost to the Jews and the Christians the Torah and the Injil. Then all of a sudden, all them years later, the geezer who couldn't read or write in the cave said Allah came to win, and he couldn't write it down. But trust me, everyone, this is what he said. And it's funny. I'll give you an idea about how Allah definitely favoritized Momo, Prophet Momo the Peter. Because in Islam, as a Muslim man, you can have 4 wives. Prophet Momo, he can have as many as he wants. In fact, there's a hadith that pretty much says any woman that desires Momo can have. Yeah? Remember, this is the geezer, ex-Dagna market in Mecca, went into a cave, went into Pat's Caf, sat down and went, whoa, I'm going to try to take over the world. I know what I'm going to do. Back into Dagna market. Wait, everyone, come round here. I'm now the prophet of God. And guess what? I can have your women. You need to listen to me. Oh, you don't believe in what I'm saying from God? Then you've got to pay a tax just to not believe. It's called the jizya. It's called the jizya. It's a real thing. If it gets into the UK, as English people, they want us to pay this tax. They want us to pay this jizya tax to just stay being English and non-believing. And if we don't pay the jizya, by the way, you either become a slave or they can kill you. It's in their law. It's what's gone on in Iran, my wife's country, for years. It's not like this is in the... This is what's happening. This is what's happening. This is what's getting into our streets. So yeah, as I said, he goes off to Medina. He builds a following in Medina, and then he turns on the Jews that took him in. He turns on them and starts attacking them, starts enforcing them. That jizya tax, which is a real thing you look into, it's literally a humiliation tax. You're paying to be humiliated by its definition. And then he went back into Mecca and waged war. So this geezer is a warmonger. So when this guy says they're only being nice to preach you and convert you, that's the whole techers that they use. They come in and well, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, peace, peace. Yeah, we love you Christians, we love you Jews. Meanwhile, in the mosques, I've played that video tons of times. Maybe I'll play it again. In the mosques, in our streets, up and down our streets, they are preaching to the masses of their congregation. Kill the Christians, kill the Jews, kill the non-believers, annihilate all of them, take them off the earth one by one. That's verbatim some of the chants that they was chanting in that video. Oh, hello. Totally, Jay, for all the kids. Exactly, for all the kids, Paul. Thank you. Confirming. And I know Paul's a white Englishman. I'm right in saying, I'm sure I know that, Paul, from a picture or something. I know you're a white Englishman. Who doesn't give a shit when you're doing that walk out of your time for kids of all ethnicities in the hospital? All ethnicities. Okay, this is another good point. Right, ISRM, you are making some good points. Right, I'm going to get back to that in a minute. I just want to put, I've never had a colour problem. It's all about our culture and people. Yeah, bang on. Are we up to date with the... Right, I'm going to come back to this one in a second because this is what I want to close off with, actually. To be Muslim, you have to be Islamist first and foremost and cast away nationalism, humanism. It is a man-made religion used to surprise women and suppress women, that's meant to be. But I suppose it is a nasty surprise as well. And human rights for their own agenda, ban Islam. That's coming from a young lady that at the age of 7, that her mum made a decision that she didn't want this abuse happening to her princess, her beautiful bundle of joy. So she's going to smuggle her and her brother and her husband out of Iran to get away from this shit. Jay, you've got link to Walkie Talkie on your WhatsApp. Oh, thank you. Right, let me put that up. Where's my blower? Let me grab that. Oh, hold on. Oh, no. It's WhatsApp. 2 secs. Right. So please, people, this is definitely a good cause. Just make sure I got this here. Where is it? Right, let's get this charity link up. We're all about that charity. Right. Fair play to you for not having moderated censorship of people with true flag. No, man. This is the thing. This is the problem. Is the fact that you even have to congratulate me or say, "Oh, fair play," for basically saying anyone can say what they want. This is the fucking problem. This is Islam. Right, hold on. Let me find this link, and we'll get back to that. Paul, can you ping it to me again just to save time? My phone's having a bit of a mare. Oi, oi. Your attitude will have the UK turn out exactly like Lebanon. I know that's not directed at me. Right, so basically this comment, right? Because this can sound provocative. Oh, fuck me. How many have I missed? Where's it gone? Where is it gone? This one. Right. That is a statement of fact, right? Islam is a culture. It's a belief system that has a culture. What's the definition of a culture, people? And then look what I've shared, which is from their book. Look at what you've seen on some of the videos that I played today. Look at what you're seeing in your streets, right? It's a culture that is totally incompatible with ours. It doesn't mix. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because one of these cultures, and it's not ours, tells itself that that culture over there needs to be overthrown. So there's not even a compatible attitude to it. It's not. It's looked at, they look at non-Muslims as we've got a problem. We need to be taken over or enslaved. Because just because we don't believe in paedophilia, having multiple wives, stoning, hanging, shooting people in public, this day and age, just because they won't wear a particular type of attire, because we don't believe in that, they need to take us over. That is not compatible. It is incompatible with our culture. Right, I need to wrap this up. Right, people. Paul. Oh, yeah, Paul. Did you send me it, mate? I want to wrap this up by putting Paul's... Why can't I find you on my WhatsApp, Paul? It's really weird. Why can't I find you on my WhatsApp? Switch accounts. Paul. Paul, I don't know why, mate. I'm having an absolute mare. Please send me that again, mate. Sent, Jay. Right, so why am I not receiving? What's going on? Paul, it's not coming up. How fucking weird is that? What's going on? Oh, hold on. Mate, forgive me. I completely nodded out there. Right, so let me post this now. So, people, this is for a wonderful cause. This is for a gentleman that's going to be walking for all kids that are suffering with cancer. Right, let me put the link up. Here we go. I need to copy that link. Right, people, please. Every little helps. And Paul Houston, shout out to you, mate. Right, people, that is the end of today's show. For those that support West Ham, what West Ham channel? That West Ham channel will be back on later today because we've got the pre-match show. Shout out to all my co-hosts on that channel. Nan, Ryan, Brooksy, Stu, Pups, Dougie Boy. If I missed anyone, I bloody hope not. Keith, Kez, part-time Kez. All of you wonderful, beautiful, good people. And yeah, people, thanks for those that have stuck around. Thanks for those that have challenged. Thanks for keeping it respectful and non-racial, because this is the thing. The reason I emphasize that is this is how they've managed to keep us passive as a people for so long. Because if you look like me, of my ethnicity, yeah, because guess what, people? Just like Japanese is an ethnicity, white English is an actual ethnicity, is we get labeled as racists. That's what they've done for so long. So that needs to be kept out of this. They're just waiting in the wings for anything to jump on. For example, saying Prophet Momo is a pedo. That's not racist. That is not Islamophobic. Break the fucking word down, you idiots. Islamophobia. I ain't scared of Islam. Yeah? I ain't scared of Islam. I'm standing up to its doctrines, its core doctrines, which is, in essence, one of them, child abuse. People, have a fantastic day. Remember how fantastic you are. You're a one-off, special human being. Never been another one of you before, not another one of you now. Never be another one of you again. So go out today on this Saturday if you're watching it live, and whatever day you are when you're watching this at this point, go out fucking with a smile on your face, happy being you. Have a great day, people. See you next time. Don't ban me, Jay. I'll try to... Never, Chris, never.
King Charles, where are you? Your people are shouting, crying, begging for help, and yet you stand silent while this country is torn apart. What good is a crown if it doesn't defend the nation? What good is a king if he will not stand with his people? This land is not theirs to destroy. It belongs to the people, the workers, the mothers, the fathers, the veterans, the builders, the farmers. We carried this island through wars, through hardship, through centuries of struggle, and we will not watch it be handed away by weak men in suits. Your duty is not to them, Charles. It is to us, to Britain, to the very soul of this nation. If you will not rise, if you will not speak, then you will show the people that the crown has become nothing but decoration. So hear us now. Your people demand action. We demand a king who protects his country. Britain is calling, Charles. Answer, or history will remember your silence.